Okay, so Ms. Dugas is on probation for the offense of robbery, a second-degree felony. We were previously here, and she entered pleas of true to counts 1 through 12, all of the counts in that motion, second amended motion to revoke unadjudicated probation. I received the updated pre-sentence report as well as a letter from Ms. Dugas. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that? Are there any additions or corrections?
None from the defense, Your Honor. No mistake.
All right, and this was unagreed, correct? Ms. Holmes, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Spoken with Ms. Dugas, obviously the various new offenses and violations is not acceptable through probation. She understands that. She stated that throughout this time, she did not have much support. She was going through a hard time in life, and she resorted to doing and committing these offenses, not being in obviously the right state of mind to be able to successfully complete probation. Ultimately, Ms. Dugas is requesting to have the opportunity to be reinstated to complete probation, and she would like to address the court in regards to this as to her plan of how she can successfully complete if given the opportunity.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, Ms. West. Complete this probation.
We open with Miss Dugas, standing before the court, already on shaky ground. She's on probation for a second-degree felony, robbery. And this hearing, it's to determine if she violated that probation. And spoiler alert, she did. The judge and attorneys confirm that she pled true to 12 counts. That's 12 separate violations. Let that sink in. Her defense argues that she was overwhelmed, unsupported, and not in the right state of mind. She's asking, begging, for a second shot at probation. Miss Dugas wants to explain her plan to the court, but wait a second. Wasn't this already her second chance? The tension is building because the court isn't buying the sympathy card so easily.
Be extended if you do gratitude. Like any job. I'm great. I'm being like I don't down much. You know, but you sound the world.
Ms. Dugas, you did the exact same thing. You robbed someone else while you're on probation for robbery. Not just rob someone else, you failed to ID, failed to report to probation, you committed the new offense of possession of a controlled substance, you resisted arrest, it's ridiculous to me that you're saying you want a second chance, because this was your second chance. You've already been on probation. You were given the second chance of not going to prison. The fact that Ms. Holmes negotiated a cap of 8 years for you, you should thank your lucky stars. This is ridiculous. 8 years, in my opinion, is not enough. You had every opportunity to do all the things that you're Stop crying, because you weren't crying when you were robbing people and using drugs and not being a good mom and not doing the things that you should have done when you were given this opportunity, right? Ms.
The judge listens, but the facts don't lie. Miss Dugas didn't just violate her probation, she exploded it. She committed new crimes while on probation for robbery, including another robbery, drug possession, and even resisting arrest. When the judge lays this all out, the courtroom goes cold. You want a second chance? This was your second chance. Powerful words. Can someone be truly sorry if they keep making the same mistakes? Or are they just sorry they got caught? And just when you think it can't get more intense, it does. The judge isn't pulling punches. She tells Miss Dugas point blank, stop crying. Because she wasn't crying when she was robbing people, using drugs, or neglecting her responsibilities. As a mother, that's not just a verdict, that's a reality check. 8 years, honestly, I think that's too lenient, the judge says. Would you agree? Now the focus shifts to Mr. Antoine. He's in court for violating deferred probation tied to an aggravated assault case involving family violence. The shocker. He went out and committed the same type of abuse again, this time by strangulation, in Louisiana, against the same victim. How many chances do you give someone who keeps hurting people they claim to love?
Did you follow the agreement? Get age at the very least is appropriate for her based on a number of violations. I spoke with Mr. Champ yesterday. He does not want to continue to work with her. This is actually her third MTRP, about her fifth chance in line abuse, not just her second chance in court abuse.
Ms. Dugas, I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 through 12 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time, find you guilty of robbery. Going to sentence you to a term of 8 years in the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. I've also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read that written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk to Ms. Holmes. I hope you take some advantage of this and actually do what you're saying you're going to do when you get out and change your life. There's programs in prison, take advantage of them, but you're not going to continue to get opportunities like this. If you continue to violate the law after this, you're going to be considered a habitual offender. And if you do anything again, your minimum punishment is going to be 25 years. 25 years minimum for what you've been doing. So you need to change your life or you're never going to see your kids, right?
The judge doesn't let him off easy either. She outlines how Mr. Antoine had access to support, mental health services, intervention programs, community service. He didn't use any of them. Instead, he chose violence. Now he's sentenced to 15 years. This isn't just punishment, it's protection for the victim and a warning for others. What's more important, understanding a person's struggles or protecting the people they hurt. Back to Ms. Dugas, her sentencing is finalized. The judge confirms she freely admitted to 12 violations. She's officially convicted of robbery and sentenced to 8 years in prison. She's also handed firearm restrictions and warned if she offends again, she'll be labeled a habitual offender with a mandatory minimum of 25 years next time. The stakes couldn't be higher. The commentary zooms out. The court paints a bigger picture. Probation isn't a free pass, it's a responsibility. And both defendants failed that test. Yes, they had hardships, mental health struggles, homelessness, addiction, but when you're on probation, choices still matter. And their choices led them right back to prison. Do you think society gives enough support to people on probation, or are we setting them up to fail? The judge finalizes Mr. Antoine's sentence, 15 years, plus firearm restrictions. She makes one last statement, blunt but fair. You didn't do the work, you didn't change. Now you face the consequences. And with that, both defendants are escorted out of court. Their second chances are gone. These two cases, Ms. Duga and Mr. Antoine, aren't just about crime. They're about accountability. The courtroom showed us that second chances mean nothing if people don't take them seriously. The justice system tried to offer rehabilitation, but when that offer is ignored, the law has no choice but to respond firmly. What do you think? Did justice get served today? Would you have sentenced them differently? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is one conversation that needs to be had. And if you want more real courtroom stories and sharp legal breakdowns, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Until next time, stay informed and stay accountable.